still look slim, right?
All right. Well, hello again out there in my TV land. We want to thank you so much for being with us today. And I got to read this because this is a lot, all right? This is a mouthful. I am here today with one of my closest friends. Okay, she is the program director for BizFed Advocacy Academy. She's an author. She's a political strategist. She's also a public speaker. And she oversees the Arts, Entertainment, Sports, and Olympics Committee for BizFed. Please help me in welcoming my really good friend, Alysia Rivers. Welcome. I hear applause in my head. Because that was a mouthful. You do so much. So I think it's so cool. So I always would like to start with letting people out there know a little bit about you, like where you're from, you know, a little bit about your childhood, your beginnings.
Yeah, so I actually am born and raised in San Diego, but my mom, born to a single mother, of course. My grandmother was in Compton our whole life. We've been there, my family's been there since the 60s. So I spent a lot of time with her going back and forth. So I like to say I'm born and raised in San Diego, but I've been full-time in Compton since I was 18 years old, and obviously spent a lot of my childhood there as well.
Okay. All right. And now you do so many things. Like you're a multi-hyphenate. That is like the multi-hyphenates of all multi-hyphenates. But what is your favorite thing that you do?
Definitely right now, I would have to say my passion project 100% is the BizFed Advocacy Academy. It is the vehicle I believe that's going to change the world. It's the infrastructure that's being put in place, and I feel like a mad scientist in my room. I'm waking up at the crack of dawn. I'm closing my laptop after midnight, but it feels good. I'm energized. I love doing this work, and I know it's what it's going to manifest and build out to be. So it's just like I'm just making deposits.
Right. And now we gotta take this slowly because there's a lot going on. So first of all, for the people out there who don't know what BizFed is, what is BizFed?
So BizFed is the LA County Business Federation. I'm sure you know what organized labor is. Mm-hmm. BizFed is organized business. So, of course, being in California, the land of law and policy and regulations, more than any other state, there has to be a voice for the business community, and that's what BizFed is.
Okay, so you guys are like a business advocate organization.
Exactly.
That's really, really dope.
Yes.
And so now, how does the Advocacy Academy play a part in the whole BizFed thing? Because from what I understand, this is basically like a curriculum that you have created and put together that is going to help to serve people who are looking to go into business or who have businesses.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. So the Advocacy Academy is teaching small business owners, entrepreneurs, students, public affairs officials how to navigate the system of government. And it's important for business owners to understand this because they're already invested in the economy, but they don't know that being invested in the economy, the other side of that coin, is our democracy. That one does not exist without the other. So if you're going to be or have a successful business, you have to know how to navigate these regulatory bodies and just the government landscape as a whole.
And now let's talk about that as it relates to the entertainment sector, because I feel like entertainment and politics, they kind of do a lot of intersecting.
Well, politics intersects with everything. So.
It does. It really does. It really does. And I mean, how do you think that the BizFed Academy will be advantageous to people who are in the arts sector?
Well, definitely, I would say because we are helping people get contract and procurement ready. When you're going through our 8-week course, we are teaching you how to strengthen your economic footprint, how to either start or scale your business or expand. We're making sure that you're certified. And then when these major events are coming that start actually in 2026, we've got the World Cup, then we have like the Super Bowl and All-Star Games in 2027. And then in 2028, we have the Olympics. Well, all of those major events events have procurement contracting opportunities that can literally change lives, that can change the trajectory of businesses for generations. So just one contract. So we're making sure, we've been advocating for years, making sure that these contracts are going to be going to the small business owners, to the ones within our communities, and also just making sure that they are equipped and ready to handle those contracts. So, and that of course includes the arts. There's so many there's partnerships with Metro. There's all these types of partnerships because we're making sure that there's murals and there's art going throughout the entire community, really throughout the region. So, and artists are needed.
Wow. Okay, so that's a really, really great thing. And before we leave, she's going to let you guys know how you can be a part of the BizFed Advocacy Academy if you would so desire to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, does this extend out to the international community?
Not yet. It's so funny. So right now it's a Southern California, LA County based program. However, we just actually have solidified a partnership with Arizona State University, and we will be featured on their international platform this time next year, and it'll be business advocacy, but it'll be helping business owners enter the global trade and exporting market.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah, it really is.
That's huge.
That's huge.
I mean, how do you feel like the tariffs and the things that are going on right now will affect that, or is it too far down the line to know?
I mean, it's obviously going to affect exporting pricing and definitely relationship with different countries, but it's not closing the door. So there's still a lot of opportunity out there.
That's good to know, because I think people are really scared about tariffs. So that's good to know. So we've talked a little bit about your role at BizFed. I guess we could talk more about something that you've done in the last year that you're proud of, because you've done a lot. So what does the last year look like for you?
In the last, because if you had asked me a couple years ago, definitely my proudest moment would have been overturning an election and proving voter fraud. But this year, my proudest moment is definitely the BizFed Advocacy Academy, because again, like I said, I know that this is a vehicle that we're going to use to change the world. In order to, people spend millions of dollars trying to figure out how to get people to vote. But my belief is that you're not going to get people to vote when they're in survival mode. You're not going to get people to vote if they are having to worry about having to pay their bills. In order to get people to vote, you have to lift them out of poverty. In order to lift people out of poverty, you have to create jobs. So if we work on stabilizing our economy, building up our small business owners, building up our mid-sized businesses, that means more jobs. That means more opportunity, and that is how you get people invested. So, and that's also the market to focus on is small business owners, because they're already invested in the in the economy. Mm-hmm. Now we're just showing them the other side of that coin, which is democracy, and how that works.
And how that can be used to their advantage, too.
Exactly.
Right, because you're in a lot of really great rooms as far as networking with a lot of top-tier companies like Google, T-Mobile, Verizon. I mean, you guys at BizFed stretch the wide gamut of businesses.
Absolutely. We have over 250 nonprofit association groups. We have over about 150 investor companies, and combined they represent over 420,000 employers and 5 million employees. So definitely a lot of access.
Wow. So you guys are doing really big things over there. Now, to segue from that, because that's just one of your avenues, you do a lot of political strategy. You've ran political campaigns, winning political campaigns, usually. And I mean, yeah, your record's pretty flawless.
Pretty flawless for everyone except myself.
Yeah, well, they don't know that. And I mean, gifts are just gifts. I mean, maybe you're just better at strategy, and you're too close to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I ran for office. I put my hat out there. Why? Because I believe you're supposed to lead by example, be the change you want to see, blah, 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 blah. But honestly, yes, I prefer being the one pulling the strings.
Behind the scenes. Yes, definitely. And so with that, you've also written a book.
Yes.
And I would love to talk about your book because I think it's one of the greatest books I've ever read. I can't believe I know the person that wrote it. As far as like a book that has a historical context, it's very, easy and palatable to digest. It's out now on Amazon, and it's called You Wonder Why They Call You Nigga. And that's a very strong and striking title. But I've always wanted to know, and I think you told me, but I might have forgot, and I want them out there to know, where did the idea for this book come from?
It's so funny. It really was God, 100%. Just putting the message in my heart, and I'm like, I just need to tell this story, and I just kept hearing like, just write it, just write it. So I did it, and I put it out there, and I had no idea. Like, my thought was like, who would want to hear from me? Who am I? But that wasn't for me to figure out. It was just write it, get it done, put it out there. And it makes, I see it now. Now it makes sense. I did that. I had the time to do it. There's no way I'd be able to do it now. And I actually really love that I wrote a book before ChatGPT. So it's like, I wrote it.
Yeah. 'Cause nowadays you have to question
Exactly,
that.
exactly. So I'm glad I did it when I did, because I know that I wouldn't have the time and energy to do it now with all the things that I'm moving. But everything ties together, and I was just following the breadcrumbs he laid out.
Yeah, it's a pretty powerful book. I think we need to let people know where they can get that, because it is available on Amazon.
Absolutely. If you wonder why they call you nigga, it is available on Amazon.
Yeah, it goes a lot into just like the history of Black Americans in America, some of the struggles that we go through, even everything down to our natural hair and things like that. That people would think like, why are you struggling with that? Like the Crown Act and things like that. Like,
yes,
it's all a very real thing. So if you're out there and you're a reader, I suggest you definitely get that book. Are you having any plans to write another one? I know you're busy right now.
Yeah, it was funny because I started another version. It was actually a children's version that's like kind of like storytelling fiction, kind of like a Kindred meets Harry Potter version of telling,
cool.
of storytelling, trying to give them the same facts, but just not in like a raw way that I'm doing in my original book. Because also, to go back to answer your question in regards to like why I wrote the book, it really is a call to action for people. I believe that if you know better, you do better.
Right.
And I can see that our lack of participation when it comes to civic engagement, our lack of I can say a lack of in a lot of different areas.
Follow through.
Yeah, so much, and it really we don't know it or realize it, but it stems back to slavery. It's all that rooted trauma, and if you love yourself, know yourself, you will put out a better product. And if you want to change the world, you have to change yourself. So I look at this book as being the recipe to put that out there for people to start doing that inner work, really know who you are, do the work, and understand your history. Don't just believe what they've put out there for you to digest, because we all know it's a lie.
Yeah. There's a lot of lies out there. They really make you dig for the truth.
Really? No, and it was so fun and fascinating doing the research for this book and all the things that I uncovered, like, the Geneva Convention, and even how slavery even came about. It had nothing to do with we're the strongest and how that goes. That played a part after.
I learned that reading your book.
Thank you.
About why we were the slaves.
Why we were the slaves.
Right.
Like it was proximity, it was access, it was a lot of different things. But if we knew that, just like if we knew that the Statue of Liberty was made for us, it was made, and if you do the research and you see that it was made as 1865, what happened in 1865? Slavery ended. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people look at the Statue of Liberty as a sign of strength for immigrants, but it's not. They hide it, but she's wearing chains on her feet to represent the breaking and walking out of bondage. How would that affect Black people if we knew that this monument was made to signify the end of slavery and bondage, that we knew it was there for us? That would make you feel a little different.
And now they're threatening to take it back.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, too much going on over there. We'd like our statue back. Because you're not living up to the ideals.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, but I think there's still hope for us.
Yeah.
People like you, people who are young, who are, in the business sector, in the political sector, really making moves, really out here mobilizing.
Yeah.
I think that you're a big part of what's missing, and definitely a big part of what's necessary. So I'm excited to have you here talking about these things today. I wanted to know, because I like to ask some cerebral questions too, like, what's a dream collaboration for you?
Oh, that's so funny. I feel like that's a trick question, because they say you're not supposed to like meet your idols and stuff like that, right? Because then it's like all ruined. But I absolutely love Dr. Joy DeGroy. I hope I'm saying your last name right. She's the author of Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. and she's a speaker, and she's just so authentic and comfortable, and she's an educator, and she flies around the world, and and teaching and changing lives. And I would love to link up with her and but not just to like, oh, let's not like write another book together, but like maybe let's put let's make some policy. What can we do with the information that we have to change the lives and circumstances of our people?
Oh man, that's really dope. Is her book good?
It is. Yes.
Okay.
And I have ADHD, so you can lose me real quick.
Yeah, but you enjoyed that book.
I love that book.
And now, speaking of public speaking, you've kind of ventured into that too. I know that you did a TED Talk.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Thank you.
And you did a TED Talk for TED Talk Compton, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to Veronica Higgins, who does TED Talk Compton. What was it like doing a TED Talk? Because you can say, thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I know, right? I did a TED Talk. It was really cool. It's like, it's funny because I often forget that I did it, but even then the messaging, it's perfectly aligned. The title of my talk was "You Are the Revolution." Why? Because what can we do with the power of love? And not loving each other, but just simply loving ourselves.
Right.
Pouring into ourselves, nurturing ourselves, feeding our bodies what we really need, and looking at what comes from that. But that was one moment that I did, and now that I'm starting to be prepared for the global stage and get out there and speak a lot more, it's definitely more towards like upward mobility and helping entrepreneurs understand the intersection between policy and profit, and getting their mindsets, ready for that arena so they can really maximize. For the Advocacy Academy, I was able to, and I incepted the idea, wrote out the plan, and got $1.1 million from the county. That was just March last year, and this year I got a state senator that was both Republican and Democrat to put in letters for state budget requests for budget allocations. Though there's actually billions and millions of dollars that's left on the table every year for small business owners, minority business owners. But it's simply because they don't put in the application, but it's because you don't understand the process. You don't know that it's out there, and you don't know what you don't know. So I really just want to, the Advocacy Academy is literally me pulling employers and different industry experts together and giving everybody the game.
That part, because you also do grant writing.
Yes.
And you have been extremely successful at being able to secure grants. What advice would you give to anybody in the arts world who's looking to get funding? Like, what's a little tidbit you can give somebody about funding? Because I'm really bad at getting funding.
No, and it's so funny.
And you being my good friend, I should be better.
You should be better. Like, you are exactly the same as everyone else. And that's another thing that we work with you through the Advocacy Academy is people don't have their paperwork together. Everybody wants, I'm sorry, that means
No, it's true. I'm like, yep, that's it. That's a big thing.
That's really what it is. It's like, you've got a business, you're out there hustling, you're doing this and that, but you didn't go get your articles of incorporation, or you didn't go file this paperwork with the state,
or you didn't pay your yearly dues for the state.
Or you didn't pay your yearly dues for the state.
Whatever state you filed in.
Right, exactly. So it's just like little things, and it's just getting people ready. That's why it's like these opportunities are coming. And I've been like, screaming at the rooftop, you need to get ready for it though. Like, people need to get ready to receive. It's not just like, okay, I want it. Well, there's actually a few things you need to do to make sure that you can qualify for this. And you qualify, but it just takes the steps to put those things in place. And it can be daunting, especially if you got all these other things going on, but I feel like, because this is my mindset, it's like, if you fill this out and you have this in order, there's millions of dollars out here, free money out here on the table that you can apply for and receive, even if you get 10% of it. But you must not trust and believe that that's really an that's even an opportunity, because why would you not do this small bit of work to receive all this money? But there's most people are not ready to receive.
Well, I am. So I'm getting it together. 2025 is going to be the year, because, there's so much arts funding out there that I think is, like you said, being I've
sent you so many.
Oh, yeah, you have. You definitely have.
Especially for the art community, students, workforce, you guys are taking center stage when it comes to all the funding right now. So there's people out there getting it, but that's the thing. It's usually the ones that have the firms that can, that are in position to do these things. And that's how we get left out. And that's, again, why I created the Advocacy Academy, so that we can show you what you need to know, give you the tools you need to know to advocate for yourselves in multiple arenas.
That is tough. If you're out there listening and you have your own business, make sure that you got the tools and you're ready to receive, because that's a big thing. Now, what is something really important that you've learned working in the business and financial sector that you didn't know?
It's kind of like cliche, because I did know it, but I didn't really know it to the extent that I know it. It's really not what you know, it's who you know.
Isn't that the case for everything?
It's really who you know. All it is someone tapping. It's like the people that get it, it's not because they're extra smart. It's because someone tapped them on the shoulder and was like, "Hey, you, come do this over here."
Yep.
And
that's exactly how it happens.
That's how it is.
Yeah. Yep. Well, this has been really wonderful. Thanks for coming to talk about us today. I want you to let the people out there know that are in California how they can be a part of the Business Advocacy Academy.
Yes.
And where they can find you.
Yes. So BizFedAdvocacyAcademy.org. You can go to bizfed.org, see the different platforms that we have there as well. And you can always find me on Instagram, Dear Ally or Dear_Ally, and on LinkedIn, Facebook, everything else, Alysia Rivers.
Yes, and that is bizfed.com. You can also go there. .org. You can also go there and register to be a part of their business community and fundraise and network with them as well.
Yes, the Advocacy Academy cohort starts May 5th. The registration closes April 30th. And if you complete the course, which is 6 online Zoom sessions and 1 in-person session, you get a $500 stipend and a professional certification.
Wow. Thank you.
Way to
Thank
bury
you
the
for
lead,
the
right?
information. And thanks out there for watching. Thank you. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Wow. So if you completed, you get a $500 stipend? That's really cool.
And you signed up for it, so you're
I did, but how much is it?
it's free.
The course is free?
The course is free.
Wow. So it's a
And
no-brainer.
and you are going to get it, because when you go through it, they're going to be working with you to make sure all your paperwork is in order, so that you can make sure you're getting those opportunities.
This is why you're saying it's going to change the world.
Yes.
This is crazy. And you created this?
Yes. And that's